Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back again. We're here for the Dota 2 Asia Championships 2017 Group Stages. Group A, Faceless versus LGD Forever Young. Unfortunately, it is looking like both of these teams are not going to be able to make it into the top two, but I'm Lyrical, going to be joined as well by the one and only PPD. Man, we did see kind of an interesting one last time around. The Brewmaster was looking quite good early on, but then kind of ran into some issues as the game went on, and Silencer, I guess items were built to deal with them, and then also Silencer got global, and it started to look pretty rough.
Unfortunately, that's just the way it goes sometimes. You think you're having a good game, and you're having a good game, and then all of a sudden you start to not have a good game, and then you have a bad game. And then the game ends, and you have to play another one.
I'm feeling like it's I don't know. Are there games where you can get your confidence shaken in something like that? Do you think that Faceless is a team that would get their confidence shaken? Is that?
I think their confidence has been shooken already this tournament, and the game was going pretty well for them. But then to almost realize like, fuck, like, we were doing well, but we weren't doing well enough. And I think that was the issue with last game is they did well in the early game, which was nice, but they didn't do enough. And their draft was too early game centric. They didn't have enough team fight, almost exclusively with their supports. And towards the end of the game, Bane and Miranda had hardly any impact at all, whereas Silencer was arguably our MVP, and he didn't even have any like strong items, or he was just casting global.
Yeah, or like you were saying, not casting global too, finding pickoffs without having to commit that full big ulti.
Yeah, it's tough playing Bane against Silencer. It's not fun. There's a couple of heroes that are like that. You just have to like sit on your spells until Silencer uses his.
Yeah. So Faceless, you're now kind of staring down the barrel of needing to switch things up. It's going to be a Witch Doctor take-in, most likely to be the Nuts hero, I would assume.
Yeah, it's the famous Nuts Witch Doctor.
Yeah, I feel like he likes to play on these types of heroes that have a kind of long attack range and can sort of be a bully in lane. Like I think about that, the Warlock. Last time it was the Bane. It's not like a long attack range, but still kind of a bully in lane.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's not a bad thing to have, a hero that's very strong in lane and can kind of allow you to almost run whatever kind of carry you want. That's something that I've done in the past. I've played a lot of Bane. I've played a lot of Dazzle and Shadow Demon and Witch Doctor and heroes that are very good at zoning, which allows me to later in the draft kind of pick a more influential carry, I guess, that can have a higher impact after I've already seen a lot of the heroes out of the other team. For example, I casted a couple Liquid games yesterday, and Liquid was almost picking their cores in like the first 3 or the first 4 every time, and then kind of almost last picking a support, which I don't necessarily agree with, because I think supports can have plenty of impact in just like a more general sense of a game, whereas the carry needs to be like very specific for the game that you're playing, because as we saw, like the later the game goes, Juggernaut and TA were just so strong because they weren't countered.
Yeah, and I think that it's pretty clear that when you have one of those counters, like there's sometimes where you need a support to counter out the carry. It's sometimes specific situations like Age Apparition with Huskar or something like that.
For sure.
Where you can get into trouble if you pick all of your supports early, or you pick supports that like maybe they can't deal with some type of early aggro strat like a Chen or something. But this is I think a hero that's...
I miss Chen and Enchantress. I don't think we've seen them this tournament.
They had one game of it. I think I heard that like Owie played Enchantress and they won in like 20 minutes.
What?
All right, we'll have to go check that out.
On.
You're not going to let me get away with just saying that. You got to go check it out yourself.
You can't just make stuff up.
But in the meantime, Faceless do go that route, and they're going to take the Earth Spirit in the first phase here. So the strong laning support, then the roamer, classic Faceless style. This is what you want to see. Yeah, let's see. Which NP game was that they did it in?
Don't worry about me. I'll figure it out.
Okay, you're on the case.
Yeah, so we got an Earth Spirit now for Faceless. Both their supports picked up in the first phase. I'm a fan. Earth Spirit is such a good hero and has had such a strong showing at this tournament so far.
Yeah. And Sand King also taken. This is one of those heroes bounce between the off lane or the support role, at least for some Chinese teams. We haven't seen it as much out of the Western teams, the Sand King in the position 4 role, unless he's paired together with something like the Coddle, which Faceless are now going to ban out. So good decision there. Also the second round of bans being the anti-mage, not necessarily what you would expect, but pretty cool.
Yeah, I did see it. I found an Enchantress for NP up against IGV or something.
And
so I'll have to. I didn't see who played it, but I might have to check out that replay later and see exactly what went down. Sounds interesting.
It's a dead hero in a lot of ways, but maybe you're going to make a comeback. I doubt we're going to see it this game.
No, definitely not.
So the early Coddle and the Lifestealer taken out. Meanwhile, the bans for LGD have been focused on the Black Heroes, taking out the Anti-Mage as well as the Terrorblade.
Anti-Mage is a strange ban.
Yeah.
I wonder. I don't think that hero is incredibly strong right now. So we'll have to see maybe what they had in mind to pick, which would merit a Anti-Mage ban.
Yeah, or if it could just be... I mean, that's the thing, is that Black, he's known for his Anti-Mage play in the past. Obviously has gone away from that since the hero's fallen out of favor. I think that I did see a couple games where it was played the other day.
He played it the other day, and then Burning played it the other day as well, and I think they both lost. So just an underwhelming hero.
Wow.
And yeah, maybe there's Leshrac. That's a hero that struggles a lot versus Anti-Mage.
I mean, if you're banning out the Anti-Mage, does this signal that it could have been the Leshrac played in the core role and they're worried about a counter of one of their cores?
I suppose, potentially. It seems a bit strange. We don't see Leshrac too much in a core role, and we also don't see it that frequently as support, so it'd be almost a little strange for... I guess maybe if they really wanted to take Leshrac as a support, they may as well just ban Anti-Mage.
Yeah. Because
it is a hero that Faceless could likely turn to.
It seems really strange.
Leshrac's a good hero. He allows you to 5-man. Like, they don't really have any tower push for Monkey King and Sand King, and now they have a Leshrac who can Diabolic Edict and put down some towers. And you can combo off of some stuns as well with Sand King, so it's not too bad.
In lane, this could be a kind of interesting thing as well. You Burrow Strike into a Split Earth just as a dual lane. Is there some potential to try and punish the fact that they have this roaming Earth Spirit and they know that the Witch Doctor is going to be solo?
Witch Doctors are really good. Like in-lane support.
Okay.
And Sand King would probably like stun in and then get casked and potentially just die to a Juggernaut spin. So I think it'd be tough for them to really challenge the Juggernaut's lane too much. I think it's more likely Lesh will be hanging out in the safe lane and supporting whatever carry LGD decides to go for.
Okay. Well, the Juggernaut, as you mentioned, has been taken. Faceless. Healing Ward's a pretty good spell. We want to have that on our team this time around. So they will be running that hero. And as you mentioned, he does have that sustainability and untargetability in lane. He's going to be able to be the constant threat. I feel like this is a much more safe and standard draft from Faceless.
Definitely. These heroes are staples in any team's lineup. I think we've seen tons of teams pick our Spirit and Juggernaut, and even Witch Doctor seems to be getting some love from a ton of different teams. I would like Ursa right now for LGD. I think it's good. Ursa oftentimes struggles with building damage, but they have Leshrac to make up for that. I think you just need to pick some Jug counters.
I got a bone to pick with you. I hate Ursa as a hero. This hero makes me upset a lot of times. I feel like it's so good at a certain point, but then like so many teams miss out on their timing where it falls off and then suddenly you lose the game. Is that just inherent with the hero? How do you play around that?
He's a hero that does kind of fall to that kind of demise very frequently, and I think it's partly the hero, but I also think it's partly the way people are kind of matching heroes around him. People pick him to kind of abuse melee offlaners, and they pick him to kind of abuse some other like melee cores such as Juggernaut. But you got to remember to pick some building damage and some team fight. Those are things that Ursa just doesn't have. He can Roshan and he can kind of fight very well, especially in the early to mid game. But if you don't pick enough team fight or any building damage, you're not going to get any objectives.
Okay. I like that idea. And so now taking the Invoker, it's another source of some decent building damage and split push potential, as well as obviously team fight and all that brings to that. Faceless is going to take the Storm Spirit for themselves. A bit of a dead hero, but making a revived state at least a little bit in this qualifiers.
Not a fan of that hero. I think he's really underwhelming. He's been nerfed a number of times, and he's been getting a couple buffs recently. So definitely, like, yeah, he's getting some buffs, but he still just struggles on mana. He's not super good in lane against. He does okay versus melee heroes, but the static remnant mana is just it's too high. It's 100 mana at level 1. Yeah, he just needs. I always talk about he can be a good hero if he has like a little bit of support, whether it's a Wisp or a Crystal Maiden Aura or maybe a Caudal giving him Chakra Magic every once in a while. Because he can't farm fast. He can go to the jungle and farm very quickly, but he just needs to be able to like Bottle Crow and hit the shrine and all sorts of things. So if you can make it through early game and get to like mid late game with Storm Spirit, he becomes that kind of same hero that he has been in the past, which is very, very strong in certain lineups. But they don't have. I mean, they have a Sand King stun, Leshrac stun, Monkey King stun, some Invoker spells. I mean, they have some decent lockdown for Storm Spirit.
Yeah, it could be tough for him to deal with. Is there any chance that we see the Invoker go back for a Quas Wex controlling style of play?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think this is definitely an Exorc game for Mr. Invoker.
I guess there's a lot of setup for his Sunstrikes.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's going to have a very good ability to carry this game.
Wow.
CK.
All right. We're doing it. We're going in.
He's good versus Juggernaut.
Was this the eventual thought? Was like they always wanted to build up to this, or do you think this is just a?
It was kind of it was pretty snap pick. So they seem to be very confident in it. I think it can work well. Not my favorite hero, but I'm interested to see what they'll do with him.
You buy Midas on it, get up to that level 25 talent.
They're probably going to buy Midas on him.
That level 25 talent's actually really good against Jug too.
The thing is, they could also play like. They could play for the early game and really kind of pressure Faceless. We'll see. It depends how. I think it depends a lot on how well this Clockwork does and whether or not Storm Spirit's actually able to farm in the early game. Because I think Storm Spirit is going to be very irrelevant for the large majority of the early game. But if Clockwork does well in lane and gets a bunch of levels, he could kind of, I don't know, sustain the game, help drag out the game for Storm Spirit to kind of come online. And at that point, I don't like Faceless. I don't mind Faceless lineup that much.
Yeah, you can sort of see how these team fights might develop. You have Juggernaut trying to, drop down the Helion Ward, hit that off-lane tower. Maybe Clockwork rotates in to be that steadying force, and then if Storm Spirit wants to, you can ball over the top and, join in the fight after it already begins. There's ways for them to take those engagements. But in some ways, I almost wonder if it goes super late, does CK... would he be able to out-carry?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think they have some decent AoE. They've got Earth Spirit and Witch Doctor, and Storm Spirit's not too great against CK, but it's not so bad. I don't think they. A lot of times CK is like kind of like a last pick hero that really abuses the fact that the enemy has no kind of AoE clearance. But it doesn't seem. They don't have the best AoE, but it's not the worst.
Okay.
So it's not just going to be like, oh, shit, like CK, like we lost. But CK could definitely get some work done if he goes to the right items and makes some... I think if they can take a couple towers earlier with Leshrac, it's going to do a lot for them.
You can already see that this early emphasis by the Dire to move in here and try and get vision in the off-lane area. LFY, they're going to... Throughout this whole game, Faceless is going to know what's going on over on this side of the map, at least this early phase with these wards placed down.
Yeah, they're scouting out. They're just trying to figure out what exactly the lane setup is here. There's definitely some potential for LFY to aggro tri-lane.
Black is playing Clockwork.
Okay, mixing it up. Ice says, you know what, Black? I'm playing carry.
What?
Ice played carry on his last team. The team has not been doing well. We saw Liquid kind of in a slump the other day, and GH stepped it up and played Naga Siren for them, and Miracle played support Sand King.
Okay. Now, we don't want to have to read too much into this. It's the group stage games.
You can make
going good.
Any assumptions you want.
Okay.
You should exercise your ability of free speech.
I should. All right. Just from my point of view, I don't think it feels like it's a scary thing to be going into a tournament and switching up roles like that. do you expect that they continue this if, you know, we're looking at the main stage as well?
Well, are they winning or losing this game in your theorized?
That's a good question as well. We'll have to keep our eyes on it and figure it out, but I don't know if this is something they've been practicing at all or not.
I think if they win this game, Ice keeps playing carry.
Okay.
But if they lose, you know, it's all up for grabs at that point.
Well, they're not going to be playing any more games if they lose because it's a best of one. That's oh wait, yeah. What am I talking about? Of course.
Yeah, I'm talking about
this
for
game.
that upcoming best of one.
Right. Yeah. Very good point. All right, XY rolls in a little bit off the mark. It's certainly not showing necessarily a sign of confidence, but well, Jising, he's
Switch Doctor has heal first.
Yeah.
That's new.
There's a lot of questionable things going on, man.
I mean, that's kind of you see a lot of. They're questionable to us, but they make a lot of sense to these guys.
Okay.
In most cases. Whenever I watch kind of like China versus China Dota, I'm just like, what is going on here? This is so weird. Like, are they like? I always think like, oh, is this bad? Like, why are they playing like this? But the thing is, like, it's just a different meta. And Black's in trouble here on the bottom lane.
Yeah, they're going to be able to.
Might be okay.
Oh, Cogs break out. Still very low. The Orb Venom. Oh, it's not going to get him down. He ate the Tango. All right. That would have been.
Lived with nothing there.
That would have been pretty hype if the. Ended up bringing it down, but thankfully he's able to escape. Now he's going to be able to make it over to his shrine. So Black going to live through that early movement. How difficult is it changing from carry to offlane position?
It just depends on if he's done it before. I don't know how much experience he has, but generally side lanes, a lot of times carries can find themselves almost in an off. Oh my gosh. I think we missed that one, but Juggernaut decided to man out there. He got exposed.
All right. Yeah, this is...
It's not looking well for Ice carry supporters at this point.
Yeah.
Like maybe I should have played Juggernaut.
Well, and that's the other thing is that this is a team that's always been in...
Watch mid, he's going to kick him.
He did just get level 2, so yeah, he has it done. There's the kickback into the Remnant as well. Well played. Super is going to drop. So XY getting a little bit lucky on that one, and White not able to be the mitigate factor.
Didn't see that coming.
Burrow onto 2.
That's the problem when you use both your wards as Radiant and you like defensively tri-lane. You ward your safe lane rune. You have like no vision of what that off lane rune is, and you really don't. All you know is that you don't have the rune. So it could be a haste, an invis. You know, it could be something useless like an illusion. You know all that that auto attack.
Yeah, he got through it there.
What a stretch.
Pretty long range one. Ends up being able to connect it nonetheless. I just feel like this game is very odd already. You saw, you know, it threw me for a loop seeing Black playing the Clockwork and Ice switching it up. End up losing it. Witch Doctor ended up going heal first. Nuts has now gone back into the cask, obviously. But do you feel like this early game is favoring either team over the other one?
I think that, I don't know, I think things are going pretty well for LFY for the most part. I mean, the Sand King he has phase boots, so he's obviously taking this game seriously.
Is that not the build?
No, I think this is a Tranquil Boot hero for sure.
Okay.
But you know what? He earned himself the opportunity to buy whatever boots he wanted when he first blooded the carry. So
okay, fair enough there as well. Meanwhile, over here to the side, White is going to end up dropping after they ended up taking down the Earth Spirit as well. So just back and forth. Is there any world in which this works for Sand King and it's okay? Like maybe trying to punish the laning phase heavier.
No, not as an offlane Sand King. There's really no.
Okay.
There's no good rationale for him buying phase boots. It's just like one of those egotistical plays, to be completely honest.
All right.
He might be looks like he's okay. He's fast.
Look at those phase boots.
He's very fast. He can phase through units. He's a tough kill for sure. But no, like Tranquil Boots, that like increased movement speed when they're active is nice, and then the health regen is obviously good. You saw he actually had to buy more tangos because he had phase boots. So he's just gonna, his blink dagger is gonna be that much farther away.
All right. We'll have to see what he ends up going back for. Looks like he has Tranquil Boots queued up as well, so I'm not sure if he's going to go through those or not. It's a very odd game all across the board here. I just want to, queue in for a little bit of a pub or so. Looks like the Midas for CK starting to get coming online as well.
Classic, yeah. That was typical almost. We saw that item on CK, I bet, even before this kind of Midas trend.
Yeah, it's, I think, very good. And he hasn't been punished or even really contested in lane, it's felt like. He's just had it completely to himself.
Yeah, the CK Lush lane is actually pretty strong. The double stun setup can do a lot of damage to Clockwork, and Black's got to be a little worrisome in lane.
Oh, well, look at these taunts. Monet trying to get into the head of the Black. Sure, very frustrating to play against. They are here in the area with Monkey King as well. They're actually going to go for the full committal. Sunstrike to follow, and, well, that's going to be Black dropping. White might take a little bit of damage on the way out, as does Monet, but still a good one.
Can't believe those cogs hit him. I feel like he walked straight out. Look at the Sand King with phase boots.
It needs to activate him.
SMH, man. What a guy.
Oh, the phase boots. I mean, those Burrow Strike that ended up getting him out of there is going to be ran down.
What?
Okay.
What's the play here? They got nothing.
Yeah, they're not going to get him.
7 seconds on the stone, but he's got a stun.
Yeah, and there's the Burrow Strike out. Sunstrike. Oh, that would have been huge. XY not going to die to it, though.
Yeah, I don't know if it would have. It only did 225 damage, so I don't think it was a kill, but would have been pretty cool.
So, Healing Ward dropped. This is the play for Faceless. You take down the tower, keep the movement going. I guess the other thing that I was sort of skirting around the edges of, and the thing I want to ask about this switch up of roles between offlane and carry, is that something where you feel like there's some hostility going on, or do you feel like it's just if you switch up teammates, you switch up players?
I think it's wrong of us to assume that the
That's
team
what
is
I'm
having
wondering.
internal conflict. But
Right.
it's definitely a better story.
It's the question to have, at least.
Yeah, it's something to talk about. But at the end of the day, like, you and I actually have no idea what we're talking about.
Exactly.
So we're just making stuff up for the sake of putting into our viewers' heads and giving them something to post on social media.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, it's fine. We can take this cast any direction you want. Doesn't matter to me.
I love it. It's great.
This is entertainment. This is live theater. I'm ready to put on a show.
Absolutely. I love it. Well, clearly, everybody hates everybody in the world. That's what we've been able to establish.
I just hope that if a player decides to listen to the cast and they hear me talking shit, they know I'm just doing it for fun.
Absolutely.
Action on the bottom lane.
They've already killed off Nuts on the other side, so Earth Spirit going to go down. Monet, well, yeah, he's going to try and get out of here. Black is running down LPC.
I like what Lesh is doing right now.
That was super sick. He is still going to get caught there, but looks like he's almost going to fall.
He's
okay.
Fast. Oh, the taunt.
Disco
what a boss. Hell yeah.
LPC doesn't even care. He is going to die in the end, but that is lovely.
Oh, God. He was just circling that creep, and then he just, all of a sudden, he decided, he got like one step on Black, and he's like, I'm going for it. I'm making a run. You'll never catch me. And then he knew he was dead, too. Jug was too fast. If he would have had phase boots, he could have lived. But he didn't get first blood on the carry. Oh, shit, he's in trouble again.
Yeah. Where's your taunt at? Come on now, Sunstrike. Oh! Oh, LPC, the god!
Taunt.
What are you doing? They did it. Oh! What a guy.
A boss. He might be my new favorite player. What? LPC.
He's waiting. They know. Earth Spirit. He knew what was happening.
What's he doing to this Earth
Taunt
Spirit?
again. Come on. Make the play.
He's going to kill him.
He's taunting again.
This is too good, man. The disco ball.
You don't normally see these types of plays out from the Chinese teams, I feel like. It's good to see it.
They're all memers at the end of the day.
We all are. So 9, almost 10 minutes into this one. We are, I would say, looking quite good for LFY, yeah?
Yeah, for sure. And the Leshrax just entered God mode, so I don't know who's going to kill him. Probably Clockwork and Storm many times this game.
Look at that. White was also, he's pretending to be a bounty rune.
Okay.
Was on the point, and now he ended up leaving.
What a ridiculous mechanic. I haven't had the chance to speak out about it, but that's really stupid.
Now's your point. You're on your soapbox.
You're right. They told me I could cast and just talk continuously for 45 minutes, so just gonna start talking, and if they never want me on the cast again, then that's fine. But yeah, Monkey King turning into items. Ooh, is this Dota? Can you imagine if this was in Dota 1?
I can't imagine.
People would just, yeah.
Very upset.
That being said, it is cute and adorable and very comical.
I love the ward too. The new ward with the Monkey King. That's a really good ward. Oh, they're up here with Ice, Ice, Ice. Epicenter's available as well as 2 points in Boundless Strike, so a decent time stun, but yeah, he's hiding back there. Knew that something could be up. They're going in instead on the bottom lane. Have been able to find Monet. Sunstrike is going to end up bringing down Black, so Monet's still in trouble here. Oh, Boundless
that
Strike.
Monkey King stun. Perfect timing.
Storm Spirit balling in from the other side of the map. Monet, oh, the stun from LPC to break it. Stun. They're not going to be able to catch up to the CK.
He's taunting.
Taunting for days. Monet going for the TP. They're not going to be able to run him down. And LPC has a TP for his own if he wants to use it, but instead he's just going to wait, turns back around, finds the kill.
This is unbelievable.
LFY, what players. The phase boot's going to start to come into play. Wait, does he have him? He has him off cooldown, catches up there to Nuts.
Yo, LFY is clowning on Faceless right now. This is just shameful.
Oh.
Monkey King is just on top of the tree, seeing everything that's going on back there. The perfect vision. They're just laughing at Juggernaut as he's spinning around their tower, missing everyone. And then they just kill him. That Sunstrike underneath the tower, too, that killed Clockwork. Black was like, guys, I'm making a play. But you know, the Clockwork, you lock someone in one spot and you try and sit on there, and then it just backfires. You just get Sunstrike.
Yeah. I mean, particularly that splitter to break the chase that was going for Monet. The Storm Spirit was all on top of him, but they couldn't quite get there in time. Really impressive. So what a performance from LFY here. They're technically not able to move on to top 2, but as you mentioned, nobody knows what's going to happen in Group B, but getting a better seed is sure to be good in Group A.
And yeah, that's the difference between
Liquid or
top 12 and top, what, 8?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a significant amount of money there. And the scariest part of this tournament is that best of 1 in the lower bracket. So there's a lot of pressure gone once you get past that. So obviously having the easiest opponent possible is going to benefit you.
Well, Super did end up finding one, but will get found out himself. So the combo of Black and Nuts takes the kill there in the jungle. Nice pickup.
Oh my gosh. You gotta be careful with your words there, Lyrical Man. There's too many puns going on for me.
Yeah, absolutely. God damn it. It's great. Well, it's set up here in the mid lane. LPC starting to take down the tower. They have been able to find the Earth Spirit, and a quick split Earth is going to be able to net them another kill. Just feels like they're throwing their bodies at each other.
They absolutely are. The Storm Spirit, though, is just not having that impact. He's starting to. He's got his core items though. He's got his mana boots and his bottle and his soul ring. So his farm's going to start picking up a lot. It's just going to be a little bit longer before he really starts having too much of an impact.
So, again, LFY, they take down the mid-tier 1 tower. We're going to have maybe some more aggression down here towards bottom where it's already almost been stricken to the ground.
Yeah, bottom tower is 132 HP. It's actually in deny range, so could deny it.
I don't know. Where do you feel like Faceless go from here? It feels like the momentum that they wanted to hit of like an early timing with Juggernaut, you know, barreling down towers and Storm Spirit able to come in at the end of it has kind of been lost to them.
Yeah, they're in a bunch of trouble. Juggernaut's really kind of not kind of had the impact that he wanted to have in the early game. I think like his first couple Omni Slashes actually didn't net any kills out of them, which is just really unfortunate for him because a lot of times Juggernauts do grab a couple of early kills, which lead to like a tower, for example, and they got the tier 1 tower bottom, but they haven't actually got the tier 1 tower top, which they attempted to push at one point of this game. So Juggernaut, there's going to become a time here pretty soon where Juggernaut's really going to struggle in dealing with this CK. Look at this. This guy's just clowning on him down here. I guess they... I mean, I imagine LFY understands the situation that they're in. They realize they can't really make it to the winner bracket. And neither can Faceless, so maybe not taking this game totally seriously.
Maybe neither team is, really.
Yeah, maybe neither team is. Maybe they're just a couple of mates having some fun.
There's a courier here. Taunt. Do it. He's not going to go for it.
Yeah, no, LPC is a respectable player. He doesn't taunt for no reason.
Absolutely.
Those taunts were... Okay, he's just taunting out of nowhere. Never mind. I take it back.
This is the showcase mode time.
Yeah, he's lost my respect. That being said, his taunts earlier were fantastic.
So this is also the other thing that's amazing about this is if you're playing this type of game and neither team is giving their 100% most serious Dota of all time, do you build a little bit of camaraderie with that team? Do you maybe like give a little wink or something in the hallway as you pass them? Yeah,
they could at the after party they could be like, oh yeah man, you remember that game we played in the group stage? That was funny.
Yeah.
And then LPC would be like, yeah, we kicked your ass, you guys suck, and then the conversation would be over.
I like that idea.
That's one of the things I like and also dislike about Dota is that I don't think players are friends with each other.
Really?
Maybe there's a couple that have played on teams in the past and they get along, but at the end of the day, like,
it's competition.
Everyone would stab each other in the back.
Right. Oh, Burrow Strike a little bit off the mark. They get one touch on the Storm Spirit before he heads off, but we'll have a regen rune now, and they could think about going back in. Blackie's found Jixing. There's the Sandstorm, but he is still going to be in trouble. Burrow Strike is going to get him away for the moment, but that's still a kill. So they take down Jixing, and everybody else from LFY is not wanting to be a part of that.
Oh, he's jumping in. He's going after the Monkey King.
Breaking tree? He didn't break the tree? Oh, no.
He didn't break the tree. You're right. Forgot about that.
Oh, man. That would have saved his life if he broke that tree, I think, but...
Maybe. So he kind of just zipped to do a CK.
Yeah.
It was like, surprise.
Quick stun, then LPC there to follow. It's a really strong combination. The Chaos Bolt, and then also you have, a Sand King Burrow Strike, the follow-up that immediately comes with the Split Earth. It's so much stun duration.
Yeah, CK's definitely got some lockdown. The stun is relatively easy to disjoint, but if you don't see it coming, you're in for some hurt.
Well, even if there's like a Sand King there too, the follow-up that comes, it's like more than enough to set up for a Sunstrike, and then you have anything else that follows.
That's what we talked about Invoker, whether you go Quaswex or XR, it's just like, with so many stuns and set up in your lineup, especially like almost seemed like they had the CK in mind as soon as they saw Juggernaut. It's just a no-brainer for him to be set up for Sunstrikes throughout the game.
LPC at this point has gotten himself quite involved in all of these kills. Currently 2, 1, and 8. So 10 out of the 13 kills he's participated in.
Yeah, he's the best player in the world.
At least in our hearts, at the very least.
Yeah, he's won me over, that's for sure.
I think he's been around for a long time. He's played on a couple of different teams. I think that he is the longest standing player with LFY. Maybe Monet is the other one. I'm not exactly sure.
I don't know. Either way, it's nice to see some new guys on the scene, and I'm glad they're having a pretty decent run at the group stage here at DAC. Not breaking into the top 2, but definitely very close and a respectable group stage. And they won a lot of games, get those under their belt, but they also probably learned a lot, which is one of the most important things about tournaments like this. And they're not going to the major, I believe.
Right, they're not.
But TI qualifiers coming up.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And you think about all of the other tournaments that happen. There's so many qualifiers in China that are incredibly competitive. A lot of that tier 2 talent runs deep, and it's at about the same level where you don't always challenge for the top seeds in international tournaments, but there's always competition to get into them. And being able to be here and be involved in scrims, I guess probably some during the off days and stuff like that. It's a lot of good, valuable experience. So Jabs has his Bloodstone newly minted, 12 charges on it. Also a DD rune in hand. I'm sure that Faceless would love to get involved in some kills right now, but LFY not affording them that opportunity.
Ice going back for the Battle Fury like a boss. Trying to carry. I like that. I like that. He's got to do something crazy.
Yeah. Is Battle Fury just always not going to? It's like the exception to the play.
It's a pretty dead item for Juggernaut. It used to be kind of the regular. Oh, I think we might have some action here.
They found black, but they're able to break down the trees. 4-second stun. The turnaround here, though, is it going to be enough? Sunstrike comes down. Black is going to drop and, well, immediately jumps into the disarm. Oh, that hurts so bad for the Storm Spirit. There's going to be a roll away. XY trying to escape. They have been able to kill off that Monkey King. They buy back on the Clockwork, trying to get in on the fight and able to Omni Slash before the EMP comes out, but still, Ice in trouble, and Monet will run him down. Jabs finally into this. Armlet Toggle is not going to be there. So a double. Spirit. Yeah, he does a lot of damage. Epicenter, is it going to be enough, though? Chaos Meteor a little bit late on the mark. The healing is actually coming in enough from the Nuts, and they're able to turn this back around. Makes it to the Shrine in time. Burrow Strike, not going to be enough to find the kill. So the team fight won there, relatively speaking, by Faceless.
Yeah, it was a pretty actually nice fight. Ice made some cool plays on Juggernaut. They really tried to set up and kind of kill him, but he dodged like the first set of attacks with the spin, and then he got tornadoed by the Invoker and EMP'd, but the second that he was down from the tornado, he managed to get off his Omni Slash and dodge a lot of not only his Sand King stun, but also the EMP, and it did a lot. And then Storm Spirit kind of came out of nowhere with a double damage rune, and now he's up to 14 Bloodstone charges. And also at the very, very tail end of that fight, when they were chasing uphill into the Shrine, Invoker's very last auto attack on the Witch Doctor missed, which would have killed him. And Witch Doctor was able to enable the Shrine and turn around and throw a cask on the Sand King. And, Sand King barely lived thanks to his phase boots. But definitely a nice fight for Faceless, and they really needed that. It would have been nice if Juggernaut could have lived and could have picked up some items, but Storm Spirit definitely got a lot out of it.
So they are set up here onto the... Well, Juggernaut, and the Sunstrike is going to find the kill. So you talk about it, a little bit unfortunate that you missed that one, and then they end up being able to find another. Oh, yeah. LPC, bottom, is going to get caught. This is more Bloodstone into the coffers of Jabs.
Absolutely. So we'll see what Storm Spirit can do. It's really unfortunate that Juggernaut's dying so much, especially as he kind of builds into this Battle Fury. He's just, he's like halfway to it, which isn't where you want to be at 23 minutes.
I mean, does it hurt his ability to take these fights in the late game? I know that you kind of are sort of going to need it to deal with CK,
yeah,
but
I think he feels like he needs it to deal with CK, which might be the case because they have some AoE, but not the most AoE.
I was looking over here. I was like, Monkey King is on the map, I'm sure, and then I saw a tree moving. I'm like, oh, right.
Clockwork did just finish his Blade Mail, though. It was an item he was missing in that kind of team fight at the Dire Secret Shop area.
Now, have the potential to get set up here. The Tier 2 tower is going to drop. The movement in now. The rest of Faceless wanting to get in position to take this engagement.
Smoked up, fighting post the tower dropping. And I think we're going to have a fight here.
Yeah, Monet, the first one to get initiated on. The stun is there. Miss onto the Maledict. Storm Spirit jumps forward, able to find Ginseng. It doesn't end up hitting on any of those auto attacks. The Boundless Strike going to connect onto 2. That was not the initiation that they needed from the Storm Spirit.
Black just got ditched. CK ult is out, guys. Run.
They're turning around, and they're going to keep taking this fight. Burrow Strike onto 3. Sunstrike to boot. LPC, it's a big old split earth. The Omni Slash is there, but it's not nearly going to be enough. 4 dead, all of LFY standing tall.
CK is way too farmed. He's got a Manta and his ultimate out, and Juggernaut Omni Slash. Yeah, you can't even deal with the illusions.
My God. What a combination.
Yeah, they just kind of walked into CK, and then they realized, we actually can't do anything to CK. We got to turn around and run, and Witch Doctor started throwing some spells, but he realized he was very much out of position.
It was like you saw the casket thrown, and then he went for the Maledict and was like, all right, I need to get out of here. I'm done.
He was so panicked and worried that he missed the Maledict.
Right.
And then he just dropped his ward on top of the CK and realized, I probably actually shouldn't be here, huh?
Yeah.
So he just immediately canceled it and started running for the Shrine. And it just was a fight that never really got started for Faceless, and I feel like that's kind of the unfortunate actualization of their situation is that they don't really have anything to fight, and Earth Spirit, you know, has some nice team fight, but LFY just might be too farmed at this point.
14,000, almost 15,000 net worth on Super. He has been involved in so many kills throughout this game through Sunstrike assists and just straight up last hits. And you look at the farm, I mean, Sand King is almost ahead of the Storm Spirit, for goodness sakes. Sure, the 15 Bloodstone charges look nice, but they just don't have the damage. I'm not sure exactly where you find it from. Maybe you get more farm onto XY, and that allows you to get that, or you just play the pickoff game and hope that you're able to get gold through comeback mechanic?
They got to find some kills, which would be nice if LFY ever spread out, but I don't think that would be very smart of them to really spread out at all. But maybe Sancty's going for something bottom here.
Oh,
Cancels
what? The cask? Oh,
the cask hit him?
Yeah, the cask hit him. It canceled the epicenter. They will still find the Juggernaut, though, and Ice is going to drop. Tornado comes out. There is going to be a magnetized now. XY getting ran down, out of mana, out of time, and is going to die.
Man, they can't catch a break. Well, they did catch a little bit of a break there with the epicenter being canceled, but regardless, man, Ice spun that wave and didn't TP out during the spin, and he paid the price for it. Thought maybe he was going to live there, but Sunstrike's been on point this game from Super, who has looked really impressive this series, not only on the Invoker this game, but the TA in the last game.
Yeah, how do you rate him in the path?
I've always been a huge fan of Super. One of my favorite mids, and I've played against him so many times. Like, this guy, you know, he's been forever. He was a part of Vici Gaming with that kind of power team for a long, long time. And I remember playing against him at TI4. So
yeah. Well, in the meantime, they've been able to find and take down the Taunting Master himself. LPC, the Burrow Strike, going to connect onto two. Sunstrike comes in, split between Nuts as well as Jabs, but they are still going to be able to run down these heroes in just a second. Omnislash is out, bringing CK to about half HP, but the turn, the right clicks, the kills.
Oh, the Armor Toggle.
Oh,
so much damage. 600 damage from Maldic there.
That's crazy. So they are going to be able to bring down that CK.
No, it's a super good fight for them. And Storm Spirit's back up now thanks to Bloodstone, but no, he didn't dust. He did dust. It hit.
XY, okay, they've got one. Looking for Super, bringing him low. That is going to be a kill. Oh.
No, he's got a lot of regen.
Oh, my God. Run. He throws out the Tornado.
He might be dead now.
Cold Snap. Monkey King is there. They're going to turn on to Jabs. Is able to make at least the start of an escape, but Sunstrike to finish. Super turned away before he even got the kill.
Evoker's a tough kill. That hero, once he gets his levels up, he is something else.
Oh, Jinsei, he's going back in now. Epicenter, Burrow Strike. Where? Oh, that's not where you need to go.
No. Other way. Going home.
So by the end of the Storm Spirit kill, it ends up looking a little bit better for LFY. But you were mentioning that you felt like in that fight that it was pretty great for Faceless by and large before that point.
Witch Doctor hit Maldic on CK, which is probably the only way they can kill him.